This episode of Out of Spec Reviews is brought to you by Magna. More on that later. Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. Welcome to another 70 mile per hour highway range test, this time with the Porsche Taycan. Now, you've probably heard me say that about 16 times because we've pretty much range tested almost every variant of the Taycan, from Cross Turismo, different versions, to the sedan with different versions. And now, for the first time ever, we're testing the shortest range, at least I think, because this is EPA rated at 200 miles. It is the standard battery rear-wheel drive, also known as the entry-level Taycan. And so, you know, this car's starting price is way under $80,000 by like $1,000 less, something like that. It's like 79-ish. And so, how far will the base car go? These are essentially the same design as the Aero wheels and tires. Very, very much no options on here. And we're gonna do our typical loop. So let's go through the... And no air suspension, that's right. It's owned by my friend Ben. You'll see him throughout the video. And let's run the intro credit, and then I'll tell you all about our testing procedures and the route and what I'm expecting from today's results. We are at an Electrify America DC fast charging station. We always start our 70 mile per hour highway range test from 100% state of charge, of course, on a completed charge after a DC fast charging session. And the reason is we want to get the car warmed up, ready to go. We're actually not plugged in right now because we charged it up to 98, 99%. I actually just unplugged it because we did a pretty deep charging session. I think we may have gotten it a little bit too warm. So we're letting it just cool off a little bit. Then we're gonna plug it in and go for a full charge. You'll see there's a Hyundai Ioniq 5 behind me, viewers of the channel. So if you're watching this video, hey guys, thanks for watching. And so let's go through the testing procedures. The Taycan is magical in the sense that it always performs terribly in the EPA range testing cycles. Like 200 miles of range doesn't sound like very much for an $80,000 car. You know, range to price, we could have that conversation. One thing we've always found with different variants of the Taycan, though, is they always go farther, even in bad conditions, than they say on the EPA label. And I am expecting the same thing today. However, today is not the perfect condition range test. We have about a 15 mile an hour side wind, and it's been coming in and out with gusts even higher than that. We also have a car full of wheels and tires that we can't leave in the middle of the Rocky Mountain because someone would definitely steal them. And so we got to carry these things around. Now, how much weight does it, you know, how much does weight affect range? We've done the testing. Actually not that much, but just keep in mind, big side wind, that's going to affect it way more than the extra set of wheels and tires on the inside. That's sprung mass. Once it's moving, it's fine. And Ben and I will be in the car together. So it's sort of like, if we can do 70 miles an hour, whatever number we get today, should be pretty achievable no matter what you do in the real world. Let me walk you through the tires and everything that's on. This car is on the standard tires. However, the standard tire size is a 275 in the rear. Chunky, meaty things for sure. They're on Hankook Ventus Evo EV specific tires. So it's a OE tread compound designed by Porsche and Hankook to make an optimized tire with an EV component. So maybe that will help here in the range. If you look up front, we got 225, so a staggered setup, of course, for performance and handling. This one also has, of course, the dual charging ports like every Taycan, but I'm showing you this because it doesn't have the automatic charge port. And we've gone through this on other Taycan range tests, but essentially if you don't get the automatic charge port, you get the air scarf function, which should add a bit of efficiency. Now, Ben did option up the glass roof, which means we should have a little bit of thermal load, but it's a pretty cloudy day. It's not that big of a deal. But maybe when I say the ultimate range Taycan, maybe you would spec just the steel, you know, slick top on this thing. Other than that, Ben has opted for the European side marker lights here, which I think is a very tasteful monochromatic look here on the vehicle. And we're just gonna get in, charge it up to full. We set the tire pressures at factory recommended cold. We actually set them warm. Whenever we set them warm, we go 2 PSI over because of course they'll naturally warm up. And I'm expecting similar results to other Taycan, even with the range, or excuse me, even with the wind even with a little bit extra weight, that won't make a difference, really. I'm thinking this thing's gonna go more than 200 miles. What do you think, Ben?
230.
He thinks 230, wow. So the rear wheel drive, big battery sedan, we've already tested, and I think that did over 280, definitely over 280, maybe close to 290, like 291, 292. We got a big garbage truck rolling up here. It's green and it says environmental, except it's burning diesel. Let's plug this thing back in, get a full charge out of it, head out on the North Carolina range test loop from here in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, looping up and down 64, close to the coast, and see how far this thing can go. So here goes Ben, just topping it up one last time. Again, we just unplugged it, mostly because it was charging too fast. We needed to shoot the intro, and I like to leave right when they complete, but it also helped with thermals a little bit just to keep it where we kind of want it in the range. Ben, this is your personal car, so thank you for letting us use it.
Anytime.
Yep, appreciate that. And yeah, he's got a spare set of tires in the back. And well, Kendall, good to see you too. This is my friend Kendall. North Carolina crew. Look at this, plug and charge. Ben just walked up, plugged in the car, and then it initiates charging just by doing, you know, sort of vehicle to charger communication. Forgive some of the crazy noise going on around over here. It's just not perfect conditions, but
no respect for people making videos.
Yeah, no respect for people making videos. That's right, Ben. So we should be at 99% or so. It's just got to top up. Let's get the air conditioning going in the car so we can pull the charger power to cool it down, and then we'll hit the road, Mr. What the Frunk. You join me back at the office with these incredible views to thank Magna. Now, Magna is a technology company that produces not only parts for cars, but also technological solutions from manufacturing and design and engineering. They cover so many parts of the automotive sector, and I bet you've interacted with a Magna product in your life before. Magna actually is very near and dear to my heart because their partnership, Magna Steyr in Austria, produced my first car, a Mini Countryman, and it was built right there in Graz. A lot of you are also familiar. Magna's going to be producing the Fisker Ocean in their Magna Steyr factory, and they also build G-Wagons, and nothing gets tougher than a G. So really excited about our partnership with Magna, of course. They are also hiring for engineers, so we know a lot of you guys are super interested in technology and automotive. I'll leave a link below so you can learn more about possible opportunities at Magna, but of course we want to thank them for sponsoring today's video and being such a huge supporter of Out of Spec. Truly, they are pushing mobility forwards responsibly and sustainably. We just completed at 100%. We unplugged the unit. Let's get everything set up here. So we're going to go trip. We're going to go to synths. Oh wait, I got to push in. Then I got to hit reset synths. There we go. We're fully reset. I have the climate control off just because we're sitting here right now. I'm then going to go to drive mode, range. It's a rear wheel drive, so it can actually disconnect the rear. Fun fact, new Taycans, as far as I know, according to Porsche, no longer disconnect the rear motor, even in all-wheel drive trims with, I think, WMA6 and newer software. And I can pretty much attest to that because I haven't felt that happen in newer Taycans. You have the max range set to 75 miles an hour. I'm going to click the little hamburger range. Whoops. We want the manual cleaning position, whatever. Range mode puts the spoiler up, doesn't it, Ben?
Yep.
So why am I going out of here? Here we go. Hamburger. What am I trying to do here? Range mode, drive mode configuration. We want eco mode, not eco plus, because we do want climate conditioning. We'll go max speed, even though we're only going to go 70 miles an hour GPS. I think we're all set and ready to go. Let's hit auto on the temperature. We'll go auto 70 to start. AC modes in eco, which is the most eco we can go with climate conditioning. I prefer my fan on focused. Into reverse. Range test starts now. Man, the rear wheel drive also gets a little bit better turning radius, it feels like. And just, you notice the less weight on the front. It feels really good. And new friends of ours there. Always great to meet people at chargers. That's one of the best things about doing what we do. We get to meet all you guys, which is awesome. So what we're gonna do is jump onto the highway. It's literally 1 mile up this road. We've done range tests on this route before. We've actually run a Taycan 4S out of this exact route previously. Just gentle accelerations, air conditioning and auto. And the car is predicting 209 miles after shredding that set of tires on the track. Which is just amazing. And then we drove, you know, the speed limit here. So the car is just so good compared to what it says on paper, I would say. Also, Ben didn't spec the lane centering feature, the active lane keeping. And so that means I have to manually drive, or I'll just let it ping pong on the lane departure assistance.
I just let it ping pong. It's everyone else's problem.
It's a lease. All right, I got to remember which way we got to go here.
The other way?
I think we got to go that way.
Oops. Range test off to a great start.
Already missed the first one. Okay, I'll just make a U-turn right down there and we'll jump on the highway. And we got to go, yeah, this is the route we're going to go. This is Rocky Mount where we used to live. And we're going to go here to the end and back. And we just run this route until she's out. All right, I made a completely legal U-turn. Here we go, gently merging up onto the highway. We're gonna basically get up to speed, check our GPS meter, make sure we're going exactly 70 miles per hour indicated. I believe Taycans normally read 1 over what you're actually doing. So I think we may have to set it to 71 miles an hour. It's gonna be a little bit busy inside of the city here. And then once we get on the other side of Rocky Mount, there shouldn't be anyone on a Tuesday afternoon. There's no beach traffic today, so just ready to rock and roll. Beautiful weather, 73 degrees, cloudy, no big sun load through the sunroof. I have no idea what to expect here, but I know our efficiency so far is really bad. Here we go, 600 watt-hour per mile, dropping quick, 580, 570. So she'll even out wherever she wants to even out.
All right, so here's what our wind situation's looking like. We're right where that Rocky Mount is, and as you can see, we're in the brighter green, waiting to just over 20 miles an hour wind. So,
but the trees are blocking a lot of it, to be fair.
Yes, so hopefully we'll get some pretty decent data out of this test.
I try to do it on the least windy days possible, but I'm literally only in North Carolina today. So, it is what it is. If the car can do well with the... See, the thing is, I don't mind a headwind because we can counteract it with the loop. That's why we run a loop. But with a side wind, we're kind of getting hit both ways. But I will say, I'm not feeling much down here, mostly just because these trees are blocking a lot of it.
Yeah, we got a nice little corridor of trees helping us out.
Yeah, exactly. And 71 miles per hour indicated is 70 GPS verified. And our efficiency is already down in the 390s watt-hour per mile. We are just reaching our turnaround point. As usual, I'm going to click it off at the speed limit sign, and we'll start regenning on the way in. Let's take a look at our trip meter so far. So this is leg number 1 without a loop, so we really don't know efficiency yet. 342 watt-hour per mile, 53 miles in. We're at 78% state of charge. Assuming we have the same or even slightly worse or slightly better efficiency on the return, we should be seeing over 200 miles today, which would beat EPA. All signs point to that at the moment. So we're just gonna wait. Whoa, can't even talk. We're gonna wait for our light to turn green at the moment. As soon as we can, U-turn back to where we started, flip around, and this is the range test loop that we do here in North Carolina. And you can actually see, based off the direction of the grass, we should have a little bit of a tailwind, but it's kind of circling all around. The wind situation isn't great. I wish we could have done this on a better day, but look, you can't cherry pick days. It's real world testing. That's what we're doing here. We try and make it as even as possible, but then, you know, Ben wants to haul his tires around and put himself in here, and, you know, we just do what we can. Eventually, though, one day, I hope we get to do like a real instrumented testing stuff, and so we'll get there. But for now, it's all about the real world testing, and man, no better car to sit in for a couple hours, don't you think, Ben?
I have to agree. But so if anyone has like a 2-mile oval, just let us know.
Right, we'd really like to borrow just a big oval. You're absolutely right. And we'll just gently get up to speed so we don't pull that much current out. Look at this Tucson sending it onto the highway. That was awesome. And let's see, we'll get it up to 71 miles an hour. Cruise control locked in. She's climbing her way up. And rock and roll on the way back to Rocky Mount. We have achieved 75% state of charge, indicated right here. I have our trip computer pulled up. We've done 58 miles. Again, we're just at the beginning of the return loop still, so a lot of unknown here. But so far, 344 watt-hour per mile, just under 3 miles per kilowatt hour. That's like 2.95. And cruising along. Lovely car, quiet, comfortable. Couldn't ask for anything better. We'll check in when we hit 50%. We are at 49% state of charge. We forgot to update you at 50%. Got carried away in conversation. We've traveled 115 miles, so we are right on track for that 230 number that we predicted, or you predicted, Ben.
Yeah, it's a good chance for it.
Yeah, the car's only predicting another 101 miles left. And so we'll have to see. I mean, whatever the car does, it does. We have no influence really on this test. It's just what the car can do.
Our only influence is our weight.
Yeah, we've like hurt the car a little bit here. I would say this is less than a mile, though. It really, once you're moving, it doesn't make much difference. 338 watt-hour per mile. I think all sounds pretty good. It's just cruising down. This wind is pretty gnarly, though. It's picking up.
Yep, blowing all the crump dust across the road as well.
Keep seeing dust going. So I bet on a still day, you'd get another 5% of range out of this thing, wouldn't you think?
Could be.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, maybe not 5. It's a pretty aerodynamic car. Maybe 2 or 3.
Definitely, it's not helping, is what we know.
Yeah, that's for sure.
All right. Well, we'll update you at 25%.
All the dust getting blown off the farm over there.
Yeah, wind's seemingly really picking up. I don't know if you can zoom into these trees over here, but definitely a little bit of a worst case scenario.
Well, the good news is you can be sure you'll get more than this.
I mean, yeah, weather's pretty good. So like, it's never perfect in the real world, but 340 watt-hour per mile so far, considering this wind, is pretty nice. Really not bad. It's 3 miles per kilowatt hour. We are now at 25%. This is where it gets interesting, down to the bottom of the pack. We have programmed in not the DC fast charger, but a location just across the street, because what I don't want is for it to precondition for the fast charger. So we selected a gas station because somehow this car still shows you gas stations. I don't know what's up with that, but I guess worked in this case. And just for those who are wondering, this car does on-route battery preconditioning. We don't want it to burn any more juice. Currently, we are sitting at 163.1 miles, 33.9 miles, or excuse me, that would be really bad, 33.9 miles per kilowatt hour. That would be insane. 339 watt hour per mile. And we have another 50 miles projected to go or so. So my guess is definitely over 200 miles, but by how much will be the question. I think our plan, rather than looping around on this side of the highway, will actually be to maybe go towards Nashville, go over this way, and then loop back to the charger. Either way, we'll do some looping around at 70, and as always, I'll let you know the exact distance we pull off the highway with before we dip down to lower speed to run it all the way out, because of course you can't do a range test until the car pretty much wants to give up.
All right, so with the end of our test approaching,
we're at 8%.
16 miles remaining. We've programmed in a nice little route here, which has us, I put a stop over there. That's going to be our turnaround point, because it sets us back with 1% to the charger, or exactly where the charger is, give or take.
That this range estimation in this screen usually extremely spot on. We also just ran this car down to 0 last night, so I think the battery's a little bit more calibrated and feel pretty comfortable with this. Worst case, Ben's gonna push it.
Yeah, it's only 5,200 pounds, so it's pretty easy.
You push it.
Yeah.
I'll steer.
Yeah, you'll steer? All right, appreciate the help there. Yeah, but we'll see how this goes. I think that's a little bit extra.
That's a nice little
moving
buffer
around. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Plus, there's that little last hill climb to get up there. Once we're up there, we can tool around in circles till she's out. But this will maximize the amount of time we spend at 70 miles an hour, which is really important.
Yeah, Should we give them the current mileage travel update, or do you want to tease it for later?
Yep, we'll tell them when we pull off the highway. Yeah, we are now exiting the highway for the last time. We are at 2% state of charge. I'm just about to kick it off of 70 miles an hour. Boom, right there. 210.4 miles at 70 miles an hour. Of course, we're going to run it all the way out to get the full final number, but I always let you guys know what we did when we pull off the highway. We have 3 miles of range remaining. I think what we'll do is we'll just jump up over this hill, do it while we have a little bit of pack voltage. You can see we already have a pretty big power limit, but not enough to kick it into turtle mode yet. It hits turtle mode at around 1%, I believe. And yeah, we'll run it all the way, out. We'll let you know what happens as time progresses. But beautiful sunset if you take a look over here to the right. Absolutely gorgeous skies here in North Carolina. We are at 1% state of charge, triple dash miles to empty. The Taycan, pretty much when it says 0, it's out in our experience. There is the shut-off procedure that it goes into, and then you get like a couple hundred watt hours maybe at the bottom of the pack to finish it off. You know, we've traveled 213.1 miles right now. The difference between 213 and 215, I don't know. We're at least going to run it down till it's zeroed out completely, and this power meter is a little bit less. We still have a ways to go, but will it get to the shut-off part? Not totally sure. We've done it before on this stretch in a Taycan. But definitely much limited performance, but I think we'll do another loop or two and run it till she's completely dead. 0%, everything is zeroed out at the moment, but still going strong, still feeling good. We'll keep her going, but I'm feeling we're pretty close to the end. I'm not sure we're gonna hit the 215. I think we'll be at 214 point something, but either way, pretty good performance. I'm trying to regen it just to spike a little bit of life back into the pack here a little bit, but yeah, I mean, the thing just is awesome. It's just amazing how Taycans, even in these crazy windy conditions with, again, the weight doesn't make much difference, it's really the wind, still exceeds EPA here, just like the big battery cars do. They're just pretty great road trippers. And then we've seen upwards of 230 kilowatts on this car, juicing right into it. So, you know, a lot of people think maybe I need to get the big battery in the Taycan. My recommendation, if you're going for like sort of a budget build, is to go with this one. This one feels right to me, honestly. And so I like the rear-wheel drive standard pack. Maybe you get air suspension. Oh, critical battery level. This is when it actually dies. So it's actually dead right now. So let's see.
That's our full power.
That's everything. Turtle mode. So we got it all out. That's wide open throttle. So there we go. We got it till it goes red. Let's plug it in. We'll time it right so we can kind of coast in, although I'm honestly not sure if we're going to be able to with this car. Come on, car, get out of the way. Here we go. That's full beans almost. Yep, that's matted. So we'll pull it right up into the 350 kilowatt unit like we did before. We'll actually take the spot next to it. If you take a look over here to the right, you'll see us pulling in. Skirt.
Final tally.
214.4. Everything's red. She's out the way it should be.
Said, I don't need a longer range with this back.
Spoiler and range mode lifts up just a hair too. It looks pretty good.
I think it's because we hit the button accidentally, and now when we go slow, it goes into the cleaning position automatically.
Oh, maybe I messed it up. Yeah, we were playing around with the spoiler a little bit earlier.
All right, here we go.
Drink up, plug and charge, baby. We are now plugged in with that 30-minute free charging, and Bennett bricked itself.
Hang on. How many minutes do we have before idle fees? 295 minutes. We got time.
I guess we'll do it again. Taycan, it's gone red. What does the car say?
Charging not possible. I actually have never seen red on that little bar before too. That's cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll get it plugged in again. I guess it didn't like the way you plugged it in. It gave it a little bit of juice.
You know what? I didn't do the thing where they go like.
Oh, you got to tap the tail light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reach it, though.
And there we go. Upwards of 200 kilowatts or so at
On a
0%.
And this is on a non-preconditioned battery.
Yeah,
technically.
we didn't even navigate
This
to
is
the
just
charger.
driving.
Yep. Oh, here we go. Look at this. 207. I saw a peak right there. 205. Yeah, what is the battery temp in this thing? Let's take a look. It's already got a kilowatt hour delivered to it. 204. Oh, I got the key in my pocket. There we go. It's at 89 degrees, so it's not even, I mean, it's pretty warm. It won't actually show you when you're that dead at critical battery level. It won't let you clear that message. So we got a glimpse of it.
We're at 3%.
Yeah, 3%, doing 215 kilowatts. 213, 215. Nice. Well, it's 0 to 50% is 10 minutes flat in this
We
car.
won't be here long.
We will be here for 10 minutes. So let's go. I got to pee.
Yeah,
And then
that's a long range.
now I have to drive to Colorado.
You gotta expect bladder tests.
Yeah, I have a pretty long range bladder.
Wait till you drive the Lucid.
The Lucid's going to be brutal.
Oh wait, I can't lock the key in there, can I?
I think I have the key, don't I? Oh, you have the key? I have an Audi key. Okay. Oh, hey, wait. It just bricked itself again.
What?
What the heck? What the heck? We just charged on this twice today with no issues.
Never this low.
Never this low.
This unit has to
Yeah, maybe the unit doesn't like dumping all the amps.
Yeah.
I would say, why
Let's
don't
try the other.
move over to this 350. We know this works because the Ioniq 5 was charging on this just before too. And there we go, back up over 200 kilowatts again. We're gonna see if it charges for more than a few seconds this time. Hopefully it will. Either way, that's not part of this video. Impressive range here in the Taycan. We knew it would go further than EPA. And although the wind just died down, I'd say within the last half hour, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it felt like it. As soon as we finished, it's like, oh hey, now
As
let's.
soon as it finished,
Yeah.
it got a little bit better. But, you know, still very impressive. Your car had just under 6,000 miles for this test, so it wasn't even super fresh. And I'm just, you know, it's no secret, we're Taycan fans here. Car did well, and gotta love it. So my recommendation, if you're buying a Taycan, is go like, you know, whatever version you want. They all have pros and cons, but for most people, I really think just the standard car is fine. Don't you think, Ben?
Yeah, you can even get a 4S with the small battery. If you don't
Say that
care
again?
About you can get a 4S with the small battery if you don't care about like range.
Yeah.
You know, you can get, you know, it's another, I don't know, what, 60, 70 miles you might get out a larger battery, but at the end of the day,
Most
when you're
people,
driving 30 miles a day on a road trip, it really doesn't feel like you're
yeah,
held
this
back.
actually, I bet this won't be that much slower than a Taycan on a road trip, because then your full charge range doesn't matter as much. You're just hopping charger to charger to charger. I personally think the future is in smaller battery packs with fast charging,
Yes.
which this certainly embodies. So, although it's not to say it's a small battery pack, but smaller than the big one.
It's big compared to the smart car.
Big compared to the smart car, that's right. Well, thanks for watching another Out of Spec Reviews video. Thanks for joining us on another Out of Spec 70 mile per hour highway range test, and we'll see you on the next one. Ben, another charging error. What is going on, sir?
I mean, we have enough. That's our sign to go, I guess.
I guess that's the sign to unplug, but
EA
like
is probably like, no, you keep using this station too much today. We're cutting you off.
too much free charging. Thanks,
Yeah.
Porsche.
Yeah.
But honestly, we've had nothing but flawless charging.
This is the most issues I've personally had charging the car. Actually, these are all of the issues I've ever had charging the car at an EA station.
And
so
your
far.
whole PCM thing
The
has been...
second you entered our state, my network connectivity in the PCM died.
Yeah,
As you
that's
said,
right. The whole car. It's something about me and Porsches breaks them.
You said every Porsche you've been in has been broken. I'm like, mine's been great. I can't wait to show you how flawless it is.
And then I get in and you lose connectivity.
Once you get within like 100 miles away, probably,
Yeah.
it'll start working again, I bet.
All right, that would be funny.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I want Porsches to not break, but I keep breaking them whenever I'm in them.
It must be something about what you do.
Yeah, I don't know, because this happened way before we were drifting around the track or anything like that.
Yeah, it literally stopped 11 hours before we started driving the car, which was 1 hour off from when you texted me that you're in the state, I think. So it's very likely.
And yeah, now we keep bricking charging. I don't know. Literally nothing we have done. It just says charging not possible. All right, we're ending the video. Goodbye.